a majority of our members. Only a couple of the commissioners are missing.
Okay, I'm going to call roll. Andrew,
Here.
BJ,
Here.
Daisy,
Here.
and Adina.
I see her.
I see her. And Adina, oh, okay, I'm going to mark you as here because I can see that you're trying to say here. And then we'll try to get your microphone fixed. And then Freddie?
Here.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
Caitlin?
Here.
Lenka?
Here.
Ramon? Marking Ramon absent.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you so much for being here, everyone. Welcome to our first meeting of the San Jose Redistricting Commission 2021. My name is Teresa Alvarado. Really happy to be here this evening to work with you all. You know, redistricting, and we are live, just so you know, via Civic Center TV and the web and various other distribution channels. But redistricting is the regular process of adjusting the lines of voting districts to account for population shifts, whether it be in a city, county, or federal legislative district. This means redrawing district lines every 10 years following the decennial census to meet strict requirements for population equality and voting rights protections. In San Jose, our advisory commission is set forth in the city charter, section 403. Over the coming months, we will study and make redistricting recommendations to the city council. I wanted to start with a few comments and commitments. As your chair, I see my role as to be a neutral facilitator of the conversation, to make sure that you all feel heard and that we receive the information that we need to do a thorough and effective job. At the same time, we have a deadline to complete this work, which we'll discuss later. So I intend to manage the meetings in a way that allows us each to engage fully, complete our work in the time frame that we have, and with all of our reputations intact. This process has real consequences for the representation of our residents throughout San Jose. And that is who we represent here on this advisory commission, the people of San Jose. This is intended to be a community-led process, and we will do our best to be for it to be a community engaged one as well. So over the coming weeks, we will discuss public outreach, consultant support for our work, and our timeline. City staff will also be posting some educational and background resources on the redistricting webpage after this meeting, so that you can take a look at those. But for now, I want to thank all the commissioners for their service, and I'd love to get to know you a little. So we're going to do a little icebreaker, one that is appropriate for our public setting. As we begin this meeting, I would like to ask all commissioners to introduce themselves, maybe share your name, the neighborhood you live in, and let us know if you've ever served on another city commission. Then think of one word to describe how you're feeling about this process. Then take a minute to describe why you picked that word. When you're done, please select the next person. So if you look at the panelist list, you'll see all the commissioners. However, you also see a few city staff. So let me tell you who our city staff, and I'll try to keep track. In fact, I should get a piece of paper real quick. Okay, so the city staff on the list are Tony Tabor, Mark Bonney, Megan Roche, and Paul Meyer. So the rest of us are commissioners, but I will try to keep track of it on our behalf as well. So you'll pick the next person who will then introduce themselves and share. So let me start first, just as an example. Hi, good evening. My name is Teresa Alvarado. I'm a native of San Jose, and I live in the Little Portugal neighborhood. I've served on 3 general plan task force processes and recently co-chaired the general plan 4-year review that concluded last November. My one word is appreciation, because I'm certain that all of you commissioners have many other things and people who you could be dedicating your time to. but you've agreed to step up to this important responsibility and serve our city. So I appreciate you, and I am confident that we're going to do good work together. So next, I will pick the next person I see on the list, and that's Jonathan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jonathan. I live in the Westgate area of in West San Jose. I'm from both California, but I also consider Louisiana as my spiritual home as well. I have not served on a city commission before. I'm not that cool. I haven't had that chance before yet. I currently am a student at San Jose State for a master's degree. And I guess my one word would be service. I want to continue my dedication to public service, whether it be at the national level or now at the local level here in San Jose and later the state, something like that. Let's continue on with the thing of going left to right. So, Lenka, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, Ms. Wright.
Thank you, Jonathan. Hi, everyone. I'm Lenka Wright, and I am representing District 10. I am in the Campton Chase neighborhood of District 10. And for me, well, first, this will be actually the first city board or commission I have served on in San Jose. And the word that I will use is invigorated. And I think this is a great process to be a part of, one that happens every 10 years. And I look forward to how all of us together can help build trust in local government. And with that, I will pass the baton over to Freddie.
Oh, and you are muted.
Gotta continue to get used to it. Hello, I'm Freddie Sidbury. I live in the McLaughlin corridor, Tully Road corridor. I've served 8 years on the Community Development Block Grant Commission in the past, and also Housing Commission for 1 year. My word is commitment. I'm committed to continuing to assist in any way I can, not only for myself, but for the citizens of San Jose. And I will pass the baton over to Mr. Andrew. Did he go yet?
He did not.
Okay.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Andrew Ditlevson. I'm a lawyer with Hopkins and Carley here in San Jose. I live in District 6 in the North Willow Glen neighborhood. I do have some prior experience. I served one term as an appeals hearing commissioner, and then I had a failed bid for the planning commission this last year. One word, optimistic. Optimistic to learning a few things that I don't know yet, and hopefully achieving positive results across communities here in San Jose. And then I will move this over to Mr. Fathom. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah. Hi, I'm BJ Fathom. I grew up in San Jose. I am in the Cambrian area. I'm also a lawyer in San Jose. I don't think I don't know if it's, yeah, it is considered part of the city. I have been a member of the Independent Police Auditors Advisory Commission now for a little over 10 years. First appointed by Doris Cordell, and I've remained on throughout the years. My one word would be passionate. I'm passionate about the city of San Jose. I'm a former San Jose police officer, so San Jose is very, very precious to me. And I will pass it on to, let's see, Sylvia Alvarez.
Hello, my name is Sylvia Alvarez. I've been well, in the Evergreen area, I've been here for 52 years. That's where we settled when it was all agricultural. I sat on the school board for 16 years, as well as a teacher for 27. I served on the Commission for Diversity and sat on the Evergreen San Jose Vision Plan. And so I've had a variety of experiences here serving for the city and for the community. And my word is opportunities, new opportunities.
You want to pick someone, Sylvia, to go
I
next?
How do I just pick the
Or-
arrow? Because I only see people.
Yeah, I can pick someone if you like.
Megan Roach?
She's a staffer.
Okay.
We have Enadina, Daisy, and Caitlin.
How about Daisy?
Thank you, Sylvia. Hi, everybody. My name is Daisy. I'm downtown District 3. I've been in San Jose for about 8 years. I went to San Jose State, and I've never served on a board or commission for the city. So my word's excited. I'm excited to, learn some new stuff, to be working with you guys, of course, and to work for my community as well.
Thank you.
I'll go with Indina.
Hi, everybody. My name is Enadina Cardenas. I live in South San Jose in District 2. Born and raised in San Jose, and very proud to live and work here. My word is representation. I applied to be on this commission because I think it's very important for all residents to have fair representation where voters choose their politicians and have their voice heard. With that, I will hand it over to Caitlin.
Hi, my name is Caitlin. I am the District 4 representative from Berryessa, and my word, and also I am currently serving on the Youth Commission, and my word is community. I'm very excited for all the community engagement we are going to be doing during this whole redistricting process. I don't know about all of you, but I think I felt a lot of isolation during this quarantine, so I'm glad that we'll be able to interact with everyone in our community.
That's a great point. Fantastic. That is everyone, I believe. Did we miss anyone? I think that's all of the commissioners. Thank you so much. That was terrific to hear a little bit about you, to hear your words. I heard appreciative, service, invigorated, commitment, optimistic, passionate, opportunities, excited, representation, and community. And I love those words. I think they really reflect well on the work that we're going to be doing together. So we'll move on to the next item on the agenda, which is public record. And I don't believe we have any public record items to report on. Tony, is that right?
That's correct. We have no public record and no consent calendar this week.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to our training. Pass it over to our city clerk.
I'm going to make this as quick as I can. We're going to focus on just Brown Act training because you're not a 04 commission. You get to bypass a lot of the other trainings and a lot of the other slides that we go through. So I'm just pulling up my side of it since I have this.
But Tony, what's your one word?
Oh, my one word? Nervous. I want this to be done perfect. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to have everything be just like as perfect as possible. So I'm excited. It's my first redistricting.
Well, thank you.
Okay, so you're a body created by the legislative body of the city. So therefore the Brown Act applies to you. The Brown Act is a state law. It applies to any legislative body, decision-making or advisory. It includes boards, commissions, and even subcommittees. In San Jose, a legislative body is any body created by the city council or by city charter. The Brown Act requires that all of your commission meetings are open and public, and members have to discuss and act on the public's business openly. This allows the public to be informed and participate in the decisions and actions of their local government. The exceptions to this rule are few and very narrowly construed. One exception is an ad hoc committee, which consists of less than a quorum of the legislative body and must be limited in scope and in existence for 6 months or less. One example may be a subcommittee of 2 or 3 commissioners who are tasked with like reading the city's budget and reporting back to the commission with the implications for their subject matter area. But what is a meeting? A meeting is when a majority of the commissioners are present at the same time and place to hear, discuss, deliberate, or take action on something that is within the commission's subject matter jurisdiction. Emphasize this, no action has to be taken in order for it to be considered a meeting. A hearing, discussion, or deliberation triggers Brown Act open meeting requirements. This makes it sound like anytime commission members get together, it will trigger Brown Act requirements. We're going to go through a few exceptions. What is not a meeting? A majority of commissioners can attend social or ceremonial occasions, conferences and community forums, and meetings of other government bodies, as long as they do not discuss business that would come before their commission. So you can all attend council meetings and county board meetings. Just don't hang out and talk about the commission business while you're there. When you're at a social function, keep the topic of conversation away from commission business. Under the Brown Act, there are prohibited meetings. A majority of members cannot use a cell phone, telephone, fax, email, text message, human intermediaries, or other means to discuss, deliberate, or develop a consensus, agreement, or a decision on any item of business that is within the commission's subject matter jurisdiction. This discussion should occur at an agendized public meeting. Email is one tricky area, and we'll talk about that next. Prohibited meetings include serial meetings. These are a series of meetings to discuss, deliberate, or take action, each of which involves less than a majority, but which taken together involve a majority of the commissioners. For an example, in a daisy chain, in a 5-member board, 3 is a majority. So April talks to Bill. Bill texts Chris. And Bill tells Chris his own position as well as April's position. A Brown Act violation occurred because even though each communication involves less than a majority of members, overall it involves contact among a majority of members. And in this case, April didn't even know she was violating the Brown Act. And neither did neither did Chris. Chris didn't know, Bill knew, but April and Chris got involved without their knowledge. Another example is the hub and spoke. So April asks Bill and Daphne individually how they are going to vote. This is a Brown Act violation because April knows how Bill and Daphne are going to vote along with her own vote. And email reply to all. Don't do it. It's too easy to accidentally have a Brown Act violation. Brown Act violation does not require intent. There are certain staff briefings that are allowed. Staff may contact a commissioner to answer questions or provide information as long as the staff member does not communicate any comments, discussion, or position of any other commissioner. The agenda is another item ruled by the Brown Act and the City Sunshine Rules, which we'll talk about later. The city clerk's office has a template that should be used. Any deviation from this template requires approval by your commission's designated council committee. A commission's agenda must include a brief description of every item to be discussed and the proposed action. The description has to be clear enough for the public to understand what is going to be discussed so that they can determine whether they should attend the meeting. Pop quiz. Looking at this agenda, what does it allow the commission to do? If you're thinking you can only discuss the fiscal year 18-19 budget, you're correct. The commission can take no action, even just to support the budget or receive and file it. What language needs to be added?
Discussing
Possible
action.
Yep, even adding a simple and possible action would allow the public to know that something beyond a mere discussion is happening. Ideally, we'd want a more specific recommendation as we do with the city council agendas, but this is adequate for a lot of the items discussed at the commission level. The commission should not discuss items that are not posted on the agenda. Going back to the template, I want to say you're going to see we use that template, and like public hearing is on your agenda tonight, but there's nothing underneath it. So you'll see some headings that are always there, but if things underneath it, it means we basically are just skipping that item. So going back to this slide, the commission should not discuss items that are not on the posted agenda. The commission should also not take action if the item has not been agendized for action or possible action. Commissioners can't comment on certain unagendized items as long as there is no discussion or action, such as briefly responding to public comment, asking a question for clarification, referring an item to staff or a future meeting, a brief report by a commissioner on his or her activities, and brief announcements. Public comment is when you let the public comment on something that is within the commission's subject matter jurisdiction. There's two different kinds of public comment. First is for an agendized item like approval of the work plan. After hearing staff's presentation, but before you take a vote, there's an opportunity for the public to comment. The second is the public comment section of the agenda. This is when you allow the general public to comment on items that are not agendized. This is listed on the agenda as open forum. What can you do with public comments raised during an open forum? The commission can respond to issues raised during public comment that are not on the agenda by referring the speaker to staff, referring the speaker to appropriate reference materials, requesting that staff report back at a future meeting, or direct staff to place the matter on a future agenda. This is not the time to debate the public speaker or engage in a question and answer period. If the speaker requests you to respond to questions, the chair may say, this is the time to hear the public, but not a time for discussion, or something to that effect. So this is a chart showing the difference between the Brown Act, which is state law, versus the City's Sunshine Resolution. Basically, the City's Sunshine rules are stricter than the state law. The key rules is we post our agenda 7 calendar days before the meeting. The staff reports have to be posted with the agenda if there are staff reports. Action minutes are required, and draft minutes need to be posted within 10 days after the meeting. What are the consequences for Brown Act violation? If there was an intent to deprive the public of information, it can be a misdemeanor. There are civil and criminal penalties. The commission can be civilly sued and be liable for costs and attorney's fees. If you have a Brown Act or Sunshine concern, bring it up with your commission secretary. So that would be Megan or myself. And if he or she is unable to address it, they can contact legal counsel for additional information. We're going to talk briefly about Political Reform Act. The Political Reform Act is state law about conflicts of interests. It prohibits you from making, participating in making, or in any way attempting to use your official position to influence a governmental decision in which you know or have reason to know you have a financial interest. If there's disqualifying financial interest, you need to disclose the interest on a form that we will provide for you and recuse yourself from participating in any way in the decision. The definition of a decision includes making or attempting to influence a decision should you assume that all of your commission's actions will qualify. The definition of financial interest includes sources of your family income, gifts, business entities, real property, and your family's personal finances. Material means significant, and there are specific tests for each type of financial interest, and it needs to be reasonably foreseeable as determined by state tests. Sources of income are $500 or more. If it's going to affect you, you should not participate in the decision. If you have a real property interest of $2,000 or more, you could have a conflict of interest if a commission decision affects the property. We're not going to go over that too much because the attorney's office will help if you think you have any of these. And I'm going to stop sharing because I think the other slides are going to click through them real quick in case there's another one that you should see, but I think that's about it. So I do want to say that one thing that's not covered in there is the Public Records Act. Everything that we do is a public record. So if you send me emails, those emails could be provided to the public if they request it. A lot of people in private industry don't, you know, I'm used to it. I've been in the public sector for so long. I even kind of treat my personal emails like that. I'm just used to it. So just know that your emails to me, to other staff people, and to each other are all subject to the Public Records Act. And any questions? Okay, then you can move on to the next item.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Oh,
You have
no, we need to do public comment.
Yes, I'm going to.
Okay.
I was just going to say, we haven't had anyone quit yet, so that's good. All right. We passed our Brown Act. Is there any public comment on this item, item 4 on the agenda? I see one hand. Who on the staff, Tony, is going to be managing? Thank you.
So Blair.
Hi, Blair Beekman here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Great, thank you. Hi. Yeah, I'm a person learning how to be a part of the community experience. And so I've been attending city council meetings for a few years now, talking about better open public policies with technology that can help create a community future and democracy that's really interesting and peaceful and sustainable and really good ideas. The SAG meeting process a few years ago invited a really interesting set of Brown Act ideas for a large setting. And I felt that it offered some interesting applications to what the early questions of this redistricting committee would be about. I got the feeling that some felt that those Brown Act ideas were being used mainly by there was kind of two sides in the beginning of this, with the mayor's side and the east side that they're a bit opposing how to create the rules and structuring for the redistricting committee. I felt the SAG Brown Act rules offered a way to both sides of this issue of redistricting issues could just have something to work off of, and that could be fair to how to get this process going. So thanks for these explanation of the Brown Act rules here. And yeah, I'm for the ideas of openness and how the voice of the everyday public can have a really important part in deciding and working towards our future. And that to me are the keys. And there is a ways that we can do that now that we haven't been able to do in the past. So
Terrific. Thank you very much.
There's no more public speakers.
Yeah, I see no other hands. So we'll move on to item 5. There is no public hearing. We don't have any old business yet. New business, however, we do need to appoint a vice chair for the commission. And I would love to hear a nomination or a self-nomination.
Teresa, this is Enadina. I'd love to nominate myself and would look forward to the opportunity to help facilitate the discussions moving forward.
Thank you.
I've worked with Enadina in doing other projects, and I would welcome her to co-chair that.
Great.
Is
Are
that a
there any-
second?
It was from BJ Fadum. Great. Are there any other comments on this item before we take a vote? All right. Let's, do you want to call roll, Tony, or should we
Yes.
just do? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to.
Okay.
Andrew?
He raised his hand. There.
Here.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, it was a lazy unmute, yes.
Okay, BJ?
Yes.
Daisy?
Yes.
And Adina?
Yes.
Freddie?
Yes.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
Caitlin?
Yes.
Lenka?
Yes.
Sylvia?
Yes.
And Teresa?
Aye. Great. Welcome, Enadina. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to item 8, public comment. Members of the public are invited to speak on any item that does not appear on today's agenda and that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of our commission. Are there any public comments? I don't see any hands raised. Oh, I do. Go ahead, Tony, take it away. Mr. Beekman?
Sorry. Took me a second to unmute, sorry.
Sorry.
yeah, hi. This is a time that I usually always speak, and I'm always ready to speak. And I think I basically have gone over in my previous public comment kind of my main points that I hope that you can be thinking about and working towards in your committee process, in this commission process. And I guess for myself, that's about all for now. And just a really good luck to yourselves and good thinking and open-minded thinking. Thank you.
Thank you. Good advice. Okay, I see no other public comments. So we will move on to item 9, our meeting schedule and agenda items. Tony?
So we just found out that when the data is going to come. The data will be September 30th. So originally I was going to suggest you meet every other Monday, alternating with the Charter Review Commission. But at this point, we think a monthly meeting would be acceptable. And then we'll have special meetings for all of the public hearings that we'll need to do to talk about communities of interest. Here, I should change my background away from a timer. I thought you might want to at least see the person who's talking to you. So we were thinking monthly meetings on a Monday. So the next meeting Monday we have would be next Monday, so that's too soon. And then I have March 15th. So we have the 1st and 3rd Mondays of the month available for a monthly meeting. And this is because I need to work around all the other meetings that we've got scheduled. Mondays are open, and then some Thursdays are open if Mondays don't work for you. But Tuesdays and Wednesdays are out.
Tony, can you talk generally about the process? You honed in on September. Can you just give a little bit more? Thanks.
So we've got a consultant coming. We're working on the contract with the consultant. The vendor's already been selected. The vendor's Redistricting Partners, if you want to look them up. So he or she, whoever's assigned to us, they'll be providing training to you guys. So we're going to have a bunch of special meetings as they provide training to you. And then we'll have special public hearings to do communities of interest. So whenever you do the redistricting, you have communities of interest hearings, and that's so you don't split like a known neighborhood. So thinking of neighborhoods that I know the name of, like Willow Glen, you wouldn't want to split it because that's a community of interest. And you won't all know all the neighborhoods in the city of San Jose, especially considering how large the city is. So that's what all those public hearings are for. And the redistricting partners are going to help us with that. They'll train you. They're going to help us get those public hearings going and let us know what to do. And then when we get the data, they're also going to train you. Part of the training is what to do with the data. What are you supposed to be looking for? Once we get the data, then we'll have meetings, drawing boundaries, more public hearings. So it's a lot of public hearings, but those will all have to be scheduled sort of like as we get closer to them, because they'll need to be on the evenings and or weekends. But as far as your regular meetings, usually you'll have like a monthly meeting, which we could cancel if there's nothing to talk about, but we want to have it reserved because I know you are all really busy.
Any questions about the process? We will have a lot more discussion about it and get more, definition as to what the meetings will look like as we go on. Yes, Jonathan.
So I just wanted to be sure for myself. So for the current moment, monthly meetings on a Monday is what y'all are saying that we are going to be going with, and Thursdays are a possibility if that need should arise.
Yes.
Thank you.
And specifically the 1st and 3rd Mondays are available. So we could choose what works best for us, at least for the next few months. We may choose a more frequent schedule later, but to get us going, once we'll have a training with the consultants and start to devise a work plan together that would then dictate our schedule. So does anyone have a preference on Monday versus Thursday? And then if it's a Monday, if it's the 1st or 3rd? Yes, Freddie.
Question, time. What time, would the time still be around 6 o'clock in the afternoon, or would it be in the morning? What does that look like right now?
You've got some flexibility, but it'll be evening, but you can start 5:30 if you guys prefer 5:30, 6. We don't tend to want to start too late because we don't want to keep you guys here till 10. Mm-hmm. A lot of commissions start at 5:30. We did this one at 6 because Charter Review Commission is meeting at 6. So I just kind of kept it consistent so Megan and I don't go crazy trying to remember all the different times.
Yes, Jonathan, and then BJ, and if you all can use your raise hand function, that would be helpful. Thank you. Jonathan?
Thanks. So just as my personal own situation, I would prefer Thursdays. Mondays are a very difficult time for me since I am a student right now, and I am technically on Mondays in class between 4:30 and 10:30 at night. So skipping class potentially once a month or twice a month all the way through the end of May doesn't sound all that appealing to me. If that's something that everyone can't get around, then I will work personally with you, Ms. Tabor, or anyone else that I need to work through to see whether I can stay on this or not. But I would prefer Thursdays.
Does anyone have a particular objection or difficulty with Thursdays?
Yeah.
Okay. And then BJ, I know you had your hand up. Did you still have a comment?
No, I was just going to say I'm okay with either. I'll make either one work. I was just going to say since we're already like on the 4th Monday, it makes sense that if we're going to do Monday, it would be the 3rd Monday. But then if we're going to do Thursdays, I don't know which Thursdays are available, but because you said it would be too soon to try and go for the first Monday in March.
Yeah. Linka?
Yes, hi, thank you. I would just like to voice my support for starting the meetings at 6 o'clock, because I think that also gives an opportunity for those who work to watch the meetings as well and participate in them, as well as for the convenience of our fellow commissioners too.
So far, we're kind of honing in on a Thursday meeting at 6 p.m. Great. Do we have, Tony, do you have a preference in terms of which Thursday of the month?
I'm actually gonna have to get back to you guys on that because I need to see what we have going.
Yeah.
For different commissions.
Okay.
And then I also need to work with Craig, who is our TV guy, and he's watching you guys right now. I need to work with his schedule as well. So we need to, because he doesn't just do us, he does all sorts of meetings for the city. So I'll need to work with him to figure out the Thursday schedule, and then I'll email all of you guys that.
Okay. And then just, yeah, because Jonathan, we'd love to have you continue. It'd be great. And so it doesn't seem like anyone has a particular difficulty with doing it on Thursdays. So if that makes it possible for you to participate, then that would be great.
Yeah, I would love to continue as long as that ain't gonna hardly inconvenience no one else too much.
And then Tony talked about the schedule. Generally, we'll get data, the census data in September, and then I believe we have 120 days. Is that right, Tony, to complete the task at hand and provide our findings and recommendations to the City Council? Is that accurate?
We have to move it up.
I was unmuted, then I muted myself. Mark can correct me if I'm wrong because he's here. It's 120 days from when we received the data.
Okay.
But it's kind of nice that it's going to be so late because we can do a lot of those communities of interest hearings before, and you'll really be ready to hit the ground when we get the data.
So it's a bit longer, everyone, than we had initially anticipated. So this is going to be basically for the remainder of the year, this process. If that's going to be a challenge, yes, Sylvia, I saw your hand, yes.
I listened to the NALEO presentation on redistricting, and apparently there's going to have to be an adjustment because there is a deadline that needs to go before the legislature. So we may not have 120 days. That's what I understand it, because of the fact that they have to have a certain, the map has to be presented to the bigger commission, and they have to submit it for their committee. So I don't think we'll have a full 120 days. They're supposed to come up with an idea as how they're going to figure out the time frame.
Okay. We're all going to have to be flexible. And as Tony said, the good thing is that we have several months before we get the data. At least we know that much to do our outreach, start to engage with the consultants, start to look at communities of interest and neighborhoods in our community. And then once we get the data, then work on maps and outreach and whatnot. Okay, any other comments? First of all, Ramon, welcome, our other commissioner, Ramon Martinez. Nice to see you.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry for joining you late, but I'm very glad to serve as much as I can on this commission, and my schedule is open so I can accommodate whatever the group needs.
Fantastic. Great. Glad to have you here, Ramon. Okay, are there any other comments? Because we know that our city clerk is going to have to go back, look at all the other commissions that the city has and look at their schedule and come back to us, preferably with a Thursday date in the evening, starting at 6 p.m., starting in March. Any other comments?
I also wanted to add that Teresa gave us some really good references for redistricting that I'm going to email to you guys. There's some videos out there in webinars. You can watch on your own time. You're not required to watch it. It just might help. And so
Sylvia, I'm sorry.
you're going to get an email. You're going to get an email from me tomorrow or Wednesday with those links.
Sylvia, maybe you can provide the Naleo one as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, actually, they're saying that they'd be more than happy to make a presentation to us if we want to, because they really, you know, I mean, they want to get out and do as much as they can to simplify the process for us. They've had a lot of background experience with it.
Great. Common Cause also is offered, and we have other, I think, resources that I think will be helpful. And once we meet with the consultant, we will look at those resources and figure out how we can utilize them. Definitely want to take advantage for sure. Okay, are there any other comments, or shall we end this meeting early? I want to welcome and thank our new vice chair, Enedina. Thank you so much for stepping up. And I'm sure our city clerk will get back to us soon with our schedule. And without further comments, we don't need to do a motion to adjourn, but it feels kind of weird just to say I'm ending the meeting. So can I get a motion to adjourn?
I move for adjournment.
Second.
Thank you, BJ. Okay, all. I don't think we have to take a vote, but nice to meet you, and we'll see you soon.
Okay, have a nice
Okay.
weekend.
Thank you.
Yes, likewise. Good night.